Hey guys, welcome back to episode 10 of Fighting Brain Rot, reclaiming critical thinking from the bottom of your feet to stop existing and start living. I am happy to be back, and today we are diving into the life of a woman whose name is absolutely everywhere, but whose real history is so much deeper, darker, and more complex than a logo on a luxury handbag. This was for sure dramatic. We are talking about Gabrielle Coco Chanel. Now, when we think of Chanel today, we think of a symbol of elegance, but the reality of her life was an intense strategic battle against the world she was born into. Gabrielle was born into poverty in France in 1883, and when her mother passed away, her father literally abandoned her and her sisters at a convent orphanage run by nuns, where she learned to sew, which would be very, very important to her career years later. Her story wasn't always a glamorous set of events. Some would say that being abandoned by your father isn't good, right? I'm making this funny, but it is not. I'm really sorry for her. But her resilience made it look easy. When she grew up, she briefly tried to make it as a cabaret singer, which is where she got the nickname Coco, before using her connections to break into the fashion world. And what she did next completely changed the rules of society for women. Back in the early 19th, women's fashion was literally a cage. Women were forced into suffocating corsets, heavy skirts, and giant impractical hats. And it was an aesthetic designed to keep women static and dependent. And Chanel looked at that and decided to completely tear up the rulebook. What would have stopped her? Absolutely nothing, yeah. When that woman choose to do something, she would do it. And I think most of women are like that. Yeah. We just need to really feel it and do it for ourselves. So she took a jersey fabric, which at the time was only used for men's underwear, and turned it into loose, comfortable dresses. She put women in trousers, shortened hemlines, and created the little black dress at a time when black was strictly reserved for funerals. Yeah. I one day I can talk here about how black became the color of funerals. But yeah, her philosophy was revolutionary. Luxury must be comfortable, otherwise it isn't luxury. She said what she said, and she asked no excuses for that. She didn't just change clothes, she handed women the physical freedom to move, breathe, to work, and to navigate the world on their own terms. And that is, like, I don't know, it is just, it makes me speechless. But here is where the story gets incredibly complicated. Chanel wasn't just a visionary, she was a pragmatist who would do whatever it took to stay on top. When World War II broke out and Germany occupied Paris, Chanel closed her fashion house, firing thousands of workers, and she moved into a suite at a luxury hotel Ritz, which happened to be the Nazi headquarters. And in recent decades, declassified government documents have revealed a much darker side to her survival strategy. She became romantically involved with a German officer and was actually registered as a Nazi intelligence agent, carrying out secret missions under the code name Westminster. She even tried to use wartime laws to strip her Jewish business partners of their share of her famous perfume company. And when Paris was liberated, she completely evaded punishment, largely because high-profile friends like Winston Churchill likely intervened to prevent a massive trial that would embarrass the British aristocracy. And then she flew to Switzerland, waited out the storm, and then in her 70s made a triumphant comeback to Paris, reclaiming her throne as the queen of fashion. So why do we need to talk about the truth behind Coco Chanel? Because human history isn't a fairy tale. We are not in a book, and even there, it is not perfect. So Chanel was an absolute genius who liberated women's bodies and redefined global culture. And she was also a deeply flawed, opportunistic collaborator who held ugly prejudices to make devastating moral compromises to protect her own empire. Both of these things are entirely truth. We don't necessarily have to erase someone's genius to acknowledge their darkness, and we shouldn't ignore their darkness just because their creations are beautiful. Because for me, in my opinion, she could have done it the other way, the better way, not to hurt so many people. But I also believe she was scared. Like, her life wasn't easy, and she did. I think that she did what she thought was the best according to the circumstances. When she was a kid, she wasn't in the first place, so she grew up thinking she must put herself in the first place. So I think that's what she did. It is not right, but I blame her because she could have acted differently, but it was not entirely her fault. Obviously, this is how I think, and I'm open to listen to your beliefs, and so please leave it down in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning into this 10th episode. It was amazing to understand this complex history together. And don't forget to check out my book pages over at Blooming Shelf on TikTok and Instagram. And remember to hit follow so you don't miss the next episode. Until next week, keep questioning, keep thinking, keep looking beneath the surface, and stay curious. Kisses. Bye, guys.